November real estate sales data has been published. It's now available. They continue to show mixed numbers. Some areas sales are up, some areas sales are down. This is all the beginning step of putting together a plan so that you can win in the market, no matter whether you're a buyer or a seller. Good morning. My name is Mike Renick. I'm the lead broker, team leader, and the senior broker with Team Renick Real Estate Services. We're part of that great Keller Williams on the Water family, serving the west coast of Florida. In order to win in today's market, it's about preparation. It's about the agent understanding the market, and that's just the first step. After we understand the market, we need to put a plan in place so whether you win as a buyer or you win as a seller. There's ways, no matter what the market is, to do that, but the key is understanding the intricacies of the market. Now, on our Monday morning shows, we cover 4 different aspects. I'll go through those in just a second. But the key is that's just the start. We need to drill down into the areas where you're looking to buy, where you're looking to sell, and craft a plan. So this data is more macro in nature, but we're happy. Eric and I are happy to provide this for you at no obligation to your area, down to a subdivision level, down to a condominium association level, down to an island area. Whatever makes sense, we can prepare the plan that shows you the current data and shows you how to win. So let's take a look at where we're at right now when we go through this. A couple of clicks away. There we go. And all right. So in order to really understand, we need to see what's going on in the area of sales. That's what we covered today. Next week, we'll take a look at prices. Sales may be moving one way, but our price is moving in a different direction. We need to know that. And then how much inventory is out there today is covered in 2 weeks from now. And then how long does it take to get properties sold? Those are the 4 critical factors that we use to begin our analysis. And that's just the beginning. There's a lot more work that goes into this. So if we look at Sarasota County right now, we see that the number of homes for sale, 5,043, it's up 9% from last month, up 13% from last year. So inventory is rising. But the sales number, when we look at it, it's under the closed. It's down 0.5% from last month, but it's up 1.3% from last year. When we look at Sarasota County, this includes all the areas. It includes homes. It includes vacant land. It includes condos. Very high level look. We see where inventory is going up, just as it did last year at this time as we get ready for season. And we see in terms of the number of sales, down a little bit from last month, up a little bit from last year. It's a trend we're going to want to watch. Let's look at Manatee County. Again, high level, not enough to put a plan in place for you, but definitely where we start. Manatee County, the homes for sale, 3,186, up almost 9% from last month, up 5% from last year. So inventory is rising as it did last year. The for sales, it's down 0.6% from last month, but up 7.1% from last year. That's a good news story. Sales are increasing overall in Manatee County. Let's go down and look at some of our cities. Longboat Key. 396 units were on the market at the end of November. That's up 12.2% from last month, up 8% from last year. The sales that were closed in November were up 75% from last month, up 9% from last year. So good. In Longboat Key, the market continues to strengthen. Holmes Beach and Bradenton Beach. Homes for sale at the end of November were 180 units, up 11% from last year, up 10% from last year, up 11% from last month. It's break even compared to last year in terms of the number of sales, but it's down 36% from last year. So in Holmes Beach and Bradenton Beach, we see that inventory has risen over the past 30 days and the number of closed sales has fallen. Something we want to keep an eye on. As we put a plan in place working with Holmes Beach and Bradenton Beach clients, it would be different than our plan for Longboat Key. The market's different. Siesta Key, 349 units on the market at the end of November. That's up 10% from last month, up almost 19% from last year. The closed sales is up 53% from last month, but break even from last year. So good news story from last month. But again, month to month as we enter the season is not as accurate of a metric as it was from last year. So break even from last year. Again, different market than Holmes Beach, different market from Longboat Key. Let's jump down to Venice. 1,094 units are on the market at the end of November, up 14% from last month, up 25% from last year. Lots of inventory in Venice. The closed sales are up 11% from last month, up 28% from last year. Good news story. Not only is the inventory going up, so are the sales. You need the right plan in order to win in Venice, whether you're a buyer or a seller. Let's look at the city of Sarasota. We began this broadcast with the county. Let's go down to the city level. 2,765 units on the market at the end of November, up 9% from last month, up 12% from last year. That's down, though, 6% for closed sales from last month, down 9% from last year. So we see that Sarasota is a different market than Venice. We want to keep an eye on this trend, but we want to leverage this to put a plan in place so that you win. Our last city that we'll look at is Bradenton. We see that the homes for sale, 1,604 units, up 9% from last month, up 4% from last year. The closed sales, the actual solds, up 1% from last month, up 11% from last year. So as we see the market, when we look at the metrics over the past few weeks, we notice that the metrics are moving in different directions in different cities. Now, the market's a lot different if we drill down to a certain condo association or a homeowners association. It's imperative that you have this information to develop the right plan. When you begin to talk to your realtor and they sit down, whether you're a buyer or a seller, and they talk about what they're going to do for you, one of the first things they should have a conversation when it's their turn to talk about the market is, what is the market doing? Obviously, the most important thing is your desires, and that's the first part of the conversation. But you need to understand the market. Your agent needs to understand the market in order to win. We're happy to prepare this analysis. We get lots of requests each week for you down to the area that you'll either be buying or selling. Of course, we would like an opportunity to work with you. This is just the beginning of the homework that we do at Team Renick to make sure we're prepared to represent you properly. If you have any questions, let me know. My personal cell number is 941-400-8735. My email address is mike@teamrenick.com. Reach out, let me know how I can help. I hope you have a great week. And as we move forward towards the end of the year, that you close out 2018 on a strong note. Take care, everybody.